Hi, this is the bad boy, Joey Janela, and you're listening to the Going in Raw podcast. Joey Janela always goes in.
This is the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, and you are listening to Going in Raw.
Hey everyone, Kenny Omega here. In case you didn't know, we have an awesome kick-butt show called Steve and Larson's Going in Raw, and they're going to be supporting AEW every week amongst many other things. Goodbye and smooch. Good night. Bye-bye.
Hey, Friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going in Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to right here at youtube.com/Steve and Larson. Available wherever podcasts can be found. Of course, we tape it live at twitch.tv/Steve and Larson. Follow us there. Come on, hang out. It's a lot of fun. We do some bantering before the show. Today we looked at cameos. We saw who was available on Cameo. So yeah, that's fun stuff. Anyways, It's actually more fun than you think it'd be. So yeah, there's that. We also have Friendo Club TV. We got lots of bonus content here Going in Raw. $5 a month on the Patreon at patreon.com/Steve and Larson. You can throw us a sub over there on the Twitch. And then, of course, YouTube channel members, just click join and you get 5 bonus episodes every single week, including Vintage 10 for the win. So yeah, yesterday on Friendo Club TV, we looked at what the heck the deal is with, like, what does Vince see in Otis? Yeah. Where should they be going? Because there was a report that said Vince, like, Otis is like a Vince project. And, he really likes Otis. So, kind of curious where that's going to go. Well, we gave our extensive thoughts on that yesterday on Friendo Club TV, so you can find out
Of course. Today, Friendo Club TV, pin, lose, or draw. You could win a drawing sketch from Steve.
A really, really bad sketch from me.
Well, some weeks are not bad.
Yeah, they're all pretty bad. Compared to,
there's been a couple that are pretty good.
So I'm still working on, I'm about 12 out of the 30 done in the custom art pieces. Those are good. Like, those I'm actually pretty proud of. I did a killer Eddie Guerrero the other day. But, like, the ones for pin, lose, or draw, I literally do them within about 5 minutes. I try to get through them really quick. Yeah. So yeah. Anyways, that's me upselling the product right there. AEW Fyter Fest Night 2 is in the bag. It's done.
In the book. It was a fun show.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it quite a bit. I thought there were a couple of small surprises here or there. I mean, we had done our predictions on this, but there was one outcome that I was surprised about, and that was kind of it. But beyond that, like, with AEW, it's not necessarily the surprises; it's in the wrestling, and there was some really good wrestling last night.
There was, pretty much every match was fun, enjoyable, told a story. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was into everything.
And then to about partway through the show, we got a pretty decent surprise. The 10 for the Win Championship is back, Larson.
Yeah.
Taz made his own 10 for the Win title, and it looks pretty great. He put it on Brian Cage. He looks great with it on, so lots of exposure for us here on the show.
Yeah, totally. Although Brian Cage's body language when that belt was unveiled was kind of interesting. To stand there with his hands in his pockets like he was Orange Cassidy.
He was very curious about it. He was like, what is he talking about? As if Taz hasn't told him what's going on. I think that was kayfabe what was going on. He was like, he had his hands in his pocket. What is he talking about? Oh man, what is this, blood and sweat? That sounds gross. And then he brings it out, because Brian Cage looks like a very clean guy. He brings it out. This is the reason I'm talking about it's on the thumbnail. This is going to be the thumbnail.
Yeah.
He's got, it's the old FTW championship, which if I'm not mistaken stands for F the World.
Yeah.
It's not the 10 for the Win championship. This was the title that Taz had in ECW when I think it was probably something like he felt he wasn't getting the opportunity to get Shane Douglas's title off him because Shane Douglas had it for like 400 days.
Yeah.
And so Taz started carrying this championship around, and then eventually he won the world championship, and I have no idea what happened after that, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Yeah.
It's interesting looking at this FTW belt, how much it has in common actually with the TNT title. I believe it's the same font for the FTW aspect of it.
But that
of course, it's got the common ECW lettering for World Heavyweight Wrestling Champion above FTW. I didn't realize they had a middle finger as one of the side plates.
I didn't know that either.
Sure enough. At least in the original version.
I didn't look too... Oh, here we go. Oh, I got a picture right here. On one of the side plates?
Yeah, on the picture on Wikipedia it does.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, it is right there. You can buy one on Amazon.
On which side plate?
It'll be on the left side.
So if I'm looking at it straight on, it's to the left?
When you're wearing it, it'll be on the left side.
When I'm wearing it, it's on the left side.
So it'll be on the right when you're looking at it.
So what I'm looking at, the funny thing is I'm looking at the one that Taz unveiled last night. I mean, it looks like the original one because it's all beat up and stuff.
Yeah.
But the side plate looks like the F was like written too small, and then the T is like slightly bigger.
Okay, so the ones they're showing here on the pictures, you get the two side plates right directly next to the main plate. There's side plates next to those. There's two side plates on each side. But it's entirely possible they took off the middle finger one.
Well,
too.
they've had the middle finger on Dynamite before, so it's entirely possible.
I know.
It's
I don't know
still
if they
on
wanted
there.
a championship title with that on there. Who
Have
knows?
it on there, yeah. Well, it also has Taz's name at the top.
Yeah.
Like engraved into it. Here's the thing, it's a very Taz-centric belt.
Yes.
So I'm kind of curious as to if Brian Cage is really overly happy with this. Like, I'm looking at his face right now in this still of the unveiling, and he looks underwhelmed.
Yeah, no, the whole time he looked underwhelmed. That's why I felt like it was weird he had his hands in his pockets.
He didn't know what to do with his hands. Yeah, so that happened. So Cage is going to walk into this match. Does this is kind of a silly question, but it's also kind of not. Does Brian Cage's crowning as the 10 for the win champion, does that alter your thoughts on how they're going to book this match?
No, I don't mean in the outcome, no. I mean, they're going to have Brian Cage beat the hell out of Mox, and Mox pulls out a win.
Doesn't Mox then become 10 for the win champion?
No, because the belt's not on the line. Because they during the Fyter Fest, Fight for the Fallen preview, they made a point of saying the match for the AEW World Champion, FTW Champion Brian Cage taking on AEW Champ Jon Moxley. So the FTW belt is not on the line.
Shouldn't at that point Taz just take that title back, say, "Hey, I thought this would give you some motivation, and you laid a turd out there. Give me my title back. It's got my name on it."
Well, I think it's a situation of Brian Cage beats the hell out of Moxley, throws him all over the place, and Mox just pulls out a win. That might be enough for Taz to be like, all right, well, maybe he can still hold the belt.
You did okay, kid. Yeah, maybe. I don't know, man. I think this kind of, I don't know. I'm not gonna say a wonk finish, but I don't know. Maybe Mox will use some underhanded means to win this. He's not above that kind of stuff.
It's true,
but he's also a straight up babyface. So I don't know. I was just thinking about that because he's got the title, and then if he drops a turd in that match, he's still got a title. How's that fair? But then he'll probably go on an undefeated streak after that. This is one of the problems, in my opinion, of just bringing a guy straight into the title scene. I know I was always a fan of when WWE back in the Attitude Era, they debut a new guy in a main event sort of role in a slot. Doesn't mean they always got a title shot against Austin.
Yeah.
But then they would just drop back down to where they would naturally fit in, which in the case of Brian Cage is going to be the upper mid card.
Yeah. This could be the TNT title scene.
Yeah. Or, hey, do you think that could this FTW title change hands down the line?
I guess it's entirely possible.
If somebody beats Cage again?
I guess if it's a legit title and not just kind of an honor bestowed upon somebody, then I assume it'd have to be defended.
You would think so.
Yeah, you would think so. But I don't know.
How cool would it be if we got Cage versus All Out is too soon, but maybe down the line at the the next Double or Nothing, next May, right? Maybe we'll have fans. Maybe everybody be dead. I don't know. We'll get Cage versus Lance Archer for the FTW Championship. That'd be kind of cool, right? That'd be kind of
cool
neat.
because Taz says something along the lines, "This is for the baddest SOB or whatever in wrestling." So it don't make it a hardcore title or a shoot title per se, but just make it the match where kind of anything goes.
A big badass guy, not necessarily the Hosses necessarily, but guys hey, how cool would it be if Pentagon was in this FTW division? Because there's no other guy on the planet that feels like an F the world type guy than Pentagon. So you got Pentagon, maybe Wardlow's in that division. You put Hager in that division. So it's the big bad guys.
Well, they're more
division.
fights. They're more fights than matches.
Yeah,
You know?
Yeah. You keep
You
keep
kinda
the
do whatever you
cartoony
want.
keep the cartoony guys out.
Yeah, you know, you're a little more liberal with the rules of professional wrestling. You just kind of I don't want to say like no DQ on everything. I don't want to have that firm of a stipulation on it, but just make it more of a anything goes type division. You know?
Yeah.
That could be fun. Something
You
a
know,
little different.
you know,
Not
it's
quite
funny.
hardcore, not quite, no holds barred. Just something along those lines, though.
Alex C here in chat brings up a good point. He says Mox would totally fit the FTW championship. That's totally true. He's
I
very
feel like
much.
CZW Mox totally would, but
Oh yeah, these days like sellout Mox wouldn't. Being careful
every
with
once in a
being
while.
careful with coronavirus, Mox isn't.
I mean, he's looking out for his fellow wrestlers. I can't blame him for that.
No, I'm not blaming him for anything. I'm just saying like he's a safe guy. Like that's a good
good
trait.
thing.
It's a good trait to have.
It is a good trait. It is.
Yeah.
It is. It is. Beans from the East says it's the BMF belt from the UFC.
Yeah, that's good.
A kind of cross weight class title just for super tough dudes.
It's like the old UFC title where you could just do whatever.
Yeah, there was no weight divisions.
There's no weight divisions. You'd have like little tiny guys,
You'd have Hoist Gracie
like a
taking
little
on
Gracie guy.
These huge men and winning.
Yeah, dude. The Fyter Fest Night 2 started with Omega and Paige, the current tag team champions, taking on Private Party. This is a fun match. I don't know who, booking wise, they showed more respect to, Private Party or Best Friends, because I feel like this match was. I mean, they needed their or I'm not gonna say they used their combo finish to finish off Private Party. They didn't use that for Best Friends. Best Friends was maybe a more hard-hitting bout, but I don't know. What's your take on that?
Yeah,
It's
I
a
had the
fun
same-
match.
It was they were both fun matches in their own right.
I
I
don't
don't
feel
know.
like
I mean, part of my perception of it is based on the fact that that Omega and Paige had to wrestle 2 matches in one day, probably pretty close together. I mean, this was at dusk, and I think the other one's main event. Was after the sun had gone down. But I don't know. They were different matches, so I guess in the sense that Best Friends one was a slower paced, harder hitting bout. That's entirely the case, as opposed to this one that had, because of Private Party, a lot more high flying involved.
Yeah, it's just they wrestle obviously a different style. I don't think one team gave more of a problem presented more of a problem for Omega and Paige than the other. But yeah, this was like the one moment in this match that obviously stood out more than the others was, I think it was Isaiah Cassidy. He did like that weird flip on the outer second rope, the outer side of the second rope, onto Hangman and a bunch of people there on the outside. It was that was absolutely crazy. That was actually surprisingly outdone by another maneuver later on in that 8-man tag match with Phoenix. That was mind blowing. The Canadian Destroyer was mind blowing.
I'd never seen anything like that before in my life.
But yeah, no, this didn't seem, and you're probably right, it's because it's 2 matches in one night. Omega and Paige got the victory. Private Party went for gin and juice. Kenny lays out Mark Quinn with a V trigger. Hangman hits a power bomb on Cassidy. Then they do the combo finish for the win.
Yeah, it was a good match. Fun match. A lot of fun.
We're going to keep going here, but before we continue, here's a word from the sponsor of today's show, forhims.com. You know, Larson, 66% of men start losing their hair by the age of 35. And once you start noticing the hair on the top of your head negotiating its exit off your dome, it can be too late.
And do you, Steve, know the best way to prevent more hair loss?
Yes.
Yeah, is to do something about it while you've still got some hair up there. With 4hims.com, you can be the best version of yourself with licensed physicians and FDA-approved products to help treat your hair loss. We're talking prescription solutions backed by science.
That's right. Hims was created by a guy who knew that some men's health conversations are easier had online rather than in person. So with Hims, you don't have to stress about awkward, weird in-person doctor's visits or long wait times at the pharmacy.
Yeah, that's right. 4hims.com connects you with real doctors online. All you got to do is answer a few questions. A doctor will review your responses, and if they determine it's right for you, can prescribe you medication to treat your hair loss is sent where? Directly to your door. It's completely confidential, totally discreet.
Right now, Going In Raw listeners can get started with their first month free Go to forhims.com/GIR. That's FORHIMS.com/GIR. Prescription requires an online consultation with a medical provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Offer valid only if prescribed. 3-month minimum subscription. Additional restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information.
Remember, that's forhims.com/GIR.
After that, we had Lance Archer versus Joey Janela. This was kind of funny because Janela comes out and the commentary starts wondering where Sonny Kiss is, Joey Janela's tag team partner. Well, we find out shortly after Archer, who usually drags one of the students or lower card wrestlers to the ring to beat him up, is bringing out Sonny Kiss, throws him at Janela. That was a good bit. This is a wildly fun match, though. Janela was, bouncing all over the place, really
throwing his body around,
really trying to take it to the big man, especially when he went up. Was it like a moonsault? I don't know. He went up somewhere and got like a super air on it and came crashing down on Archer.
Yeah, I think it was just a top rope cross body.
Yeah. It was.
I think it's the same move where he blew out his knee a couple years ago.
Yeah.
I think that's what it was. Sonny eventually came to, though, after getting tossed into Joey Janela to start the match. At one point, Sonny hops up the apron, tries to distract Lance. That allows Joey to hit a couple shots on him. But Archer is just no-selling basically everything. He grabs Joey by the throat, shoves him over the apron. Joey gets back in. Lance goes for blackout. Joey counters with kind of a reverse DDT elbow type thing. Gets a 2 count. And then, like halfway through the match, Jake pulls out a canvas sack.
He was so sweaty too.
I know. So you think, oh, he's got a snake with him.
Right.
So Joey hits Lance with a super kick and then a knee. Jake gets up on the apron with his snake sack, and the refs over there are like, hey, you can't do that.
Hey.
And this allows Joey to hit a top rope senton. Sonny follows with a 450.
Yeah.
Joey covers. Lance kicks out, and Jake is just pouring sweat. He's nervous. I'm sure if he would be, he's like, oh gosh, I almost cost Lance that match.
I'm gonna hear this later.
Involved. Yeah. The finish sees Joey go up top. Lance hits him with a huge right hand. And then Lance Archer hits blackout off the apron through a table to the floor.
That I hadn't realized there was a table there. Like right before he did it.
Yeah.
I'm assuming did Joey set that table up?
Yeah,
earlier?
it was set up early in the match, but I thought it was a different place in the ringside area.
I was like, oh my god, he's gonna take this to the floor. He took it through the table, puts him back in, gets the win.
To be fair, if Joey Janela had taken it to the floor, I really would have been that surprised.
I know, exactly. Which is like, oh man, if anybody's gonna be this stupid, it's gonna be Joey Janela. But yeah, no, really fun match. I love that match.
It was fun. It was tons of fun.
So after that, we got a short video of Darby Allin at some sort of kids' adventure place where he does a coffin drop into like a pool of foam.
It made it sound like he was because it was with Travis Pastrana.
Who?
And Travis Pastrana. You don't watch enough X Games, man.
You're right. I don't watch any X Games.
I think he said that was his place.
Oh, okay. Cool. It looked like a little kid's adventure time.
Yeah, but it was way the heck up there. That was high.
Yeah, it was pretty high, but it was like a giant. It was just a big foam pit.
Yeah, a huge foam pit.
It looked fun as hell, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it did look fun. So before he makes the leap into foam pit, he talks to camera, says, "Hey, Brian Cage, you're the one that got me out of action. Don't think I haven't forgotten about you. But while I'm still waiting to be cleared medically, I'm going to practice some coffin drops here with Travis Pastrana." And then he jumps off.
Yeah, look fun.
It does look fun.
Gareth says it's a foam pit for practicing BMX flips.
Ah, yes.
That's rad. That seems fun. I want to start. Can I start riding my BMX bike? Like professionally?
When was the last time you tried to ride a BMX bike?
A BMX bike?
Yeah.
Sometime in the past 10 years. I feel like I got my hands on one somehow.
When I was in the market for a new bicycle, I was like, I'm going to get a BMX because that's what I had when I was a kid.
Right. Seemed cool.
Yeah, they did. I mean, they're really small.
Yeah. They don't
like
make
you
them...
try to sit in the seat and pedal, your knees are basically hitting the handlebars. They're made to stand up and more or less and pedal that way.
Yeah, you got to be like Darby Allin size to ride one.
And I was like, oh, well, this isn't going to work just for recreational riding of the bike, so
yeah.
I'll have to get me something else.
Man, I want to start going on bike rides more, though. I got like 4 bikes on the side of my house.
Yeah.
And like, I just got to pump up the tires, I think.
After that, we had Taz and Brian Cage. We talked about Taz handing the FTW belt to Brian Cage, and he preceded the handoff, talking about how they were supposed to have a title match that night. Of course, Mox couldn't make it. It's happening next week, and he says that's where Cage will become AEW champion. But that brings Taz to something he has in his hands, something that he created, something that represents his full body of work, crafted with his blood, his sweat, and his tears. It's
Gross.
the FTW title.
Nasty.
He said it's a title that no promotion ever recognized. But wrestling fans worldwide recognize the respect for the man that holds that championship, because the man who holds that title is the baddest SOB in wrestling, and that man is no longer uncrowned, and that man will not go into fight for the fallen without a title, because that man is machine Brian Cage. And at that point, Brian Cage takes his hands out of his pockets and grabs the title and holds it up. Taz calls the FTW belt some renegade shit a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
He says, who better than Cage to go into fight for the fallen with some of Taz's momentum? Taz calls out Mox, says, who's better than the Machine?
So Taz did put it on the line. Sabu won it about 6-7 months after it debuted in a triple threat match with Just Incredible. And then Taz won it back about 4 months later.
At 98?
We're looking at 98, 99, yeah. And
Okay,
then he won it back in early 99.
familiar.
Living Dangerously.
That all sounds familiar.
In an extreme death match. And then it was unified when Taz defeated Sabu to unify the two championships. And then it disappeared because it was unified. And then now Brian Cage has it.
It was in Taz's attic the whole time.
Exactly. So there you go. There's some history for you.
There you go.
After that, man, this is probably match of the night.
Yeah.
Is there even a probably about it? This was
There's no
clearly
This was-
match of the night.
It was so good.
This
It
was
crazy.
rad. I
Even
love
without that crazy spot, it was a really good match.
Pentagon and Phoenix can do no wrong in my eyes. They really should be.
Agreed.
Like man, I know like there's been travel restrictions and stuff like that. Things are crazy. I get that. But like in a perfect world, be Pentagon, Phoenix, and then
Pack.
and then X-Lax all fighting over. Be those two teams fighting for those tag titles.
Oh, I know. I know.
man. So good. So good.
So good. So kind of the story of this is Young Bucks and FTR working remarkably well together for two teams who have had a long-standing Twitter beef.
Yeah, we had like an Indie Taker that was a clout.
Yeah.
Oh, there goes my camera. People probably
Yeah,
freak
lost
out when my
camera.
camera goes out. Look at that creepy head that's right there.
See, I don't even see it. I just a blank screen on my end. I don't
Oh,
see the,
really? Okay, well that's
I don't
good.
see the unsolved mysteries.
Oh, well they'll see it because it's
Yeah.
on my thing. Yeah.
Why
Why was Cash wearing a glove?
I don't know.
And then they showed Tully and Spears in the crowd.
Scouting them.
Is this one of those questions? Is this one of those things where people are like, well, Steve and Larson, if you watch Dark or Being the Elite,
It's
you
all
would
answered
know. You would know. So I'm sure somebody's gonna.
Oh, was it Pentagon's glove?
Did he? Oh, okay. So Penta threw it.
Pentagon threw
Okay.
his glove at them.
Okay.
I didn't notice that he put it on, but that would make sense.
Okay, but then right after he like put his hand up, they showed Tully and Spears, which is a clever thing because
Yeah.
the glove.
The glove. Black leather glove.
All right, nice.
So Lucha Brothers and Butcher and the Blade roll up in FTR's truck. I guess with the truck on the line in this match? It made it seem like they were because Butcher was carrying the keys and put it around the turnbuckle. So this was a old-time truck match.
Yeah,
Bob Falfa truck match.
yeah, man. That's
So as
good
mentioned
stuff.
before,
Yeah.
Penta throws his glove at FTR. Nick tags in Dax. FTR has the early advantage. Penta's isolated until he avoids a Dax Harwood charge. Hits a massive chop. Man, Pentagon's got the best leg kicks in the business, man.
Yeah, he's got the best
I
everything
mean,
in the business.
Every time he kicks someone in the hamstring, it sounds like a gunshot's going off. It's great.
He's like one of my favorite. He's like my favorite wrestler.
Oh, hell yeah, man. Pentagon's outstanding. Phoenix is in. Bunch of double team offense from the Lucha Brothers because they're the best. And, you know, as you mentioned, there's the Young Bucks and FTR working really well together, doing each other's moves. Saw Dax Harwood do a super kick. Don't you think we ever saw Scott Dawson do a super kick in WWE? You know, they one member of each team did a Shatter Machine with a Goodnight Express, they call it now. Mind Buster, both FTR's finishes. That was pretty cool. I guess we can just go right ahead to one of the most incredible things I've ever seen.
Dude, this was insane.
So I'll just break down this whole sequence because it's out of control. So Penta is in Matt's face. He's about to do the Cerro Miedo thing. Matt picks him up. Bucks are setting up for a Meltzer driver. Phoenix does the walking on the rope kick to Nick. Kicks Nick in the face. So Nick's there selling that. Meanwhile, Penta dumps Matt out of the ring. And so Nick's on the apron. Penta's in the ring. They're brawling. Nick, I think, kicks Penta, hits him with an Enziguri. So Penta's in all four. Meanwhile, in the background, you see Phoenix just kind of hanging out there, waiting for an opportunity. So Nick bends over the ropes to try to pick up Pentagon. And when he does that, Phoenix sprints towards both of them, steps on Pentagon's back, does like a sunset flip into a destroyer, which takes out everybody else that's on the floor. So Butcher and the Blade and FTR. It was one of the most incredible things I've seen in a wrestling match in a long time. Did not see it coming. It blew my mind.
They showed like the replay too, like how the topple happened, and I was like, this is amazing that nobody got completely murdered on this thing, because they did end up going pretty far out. Towards like through the barricade and stuff like that. So that was absolutely crazy. In the end, Penta and Phoenix hit. Do they have a name for this? Whatever. It's like a combo.
Excalibur called it an LB driver.
Okay.
I guess Lucha Brothers driver.
Okay.
Usually they do the thing where it's package pile driver from Penta, and then Phoenix goes to the top and does a stomp off there. It wasn't the case this time. Phoenix just grabbed, I guess it was Matt. By kind of like the feet and helped put more downward force on the package pile driver. But what's setting that up is the Lucha Brothers were setting up for their finish. It's broken up by Cash Wheeler. Matt tries to super kick Pentagon. He moves, so Matt super kicks Dax Harwood instead. Off that, Lucha Brothers hit LB driver on Matt for the win. And then we get a quick shot before seemingly a hasty cut to commercial of FTR and the Young Bucks shaking hands. It's like a 10-second shot, if that.
Yeah. So I don't know. Where do you think it's going to go? I mean, they lost, but they shook hands. I mean, at some point we're going to get a match. It's probably All Out's we're going to get that. It's going to be the main event, I would think.
Yeah.
I would think.
Yeah, the match is going to happen at All Out. So I just don't know if it's a situation where bit by bit, whatever chemistry they have is slowly eroded just so it's pure rivalry at this point. I don't know. I don't know. This match was an absolute delight, though. So
yeah, it was rad. It was awesome. Also awesome. Big Swole trying to get to the building, and she's prevented and served with suspension papers. She called Britt a trick one more time, and she called her Brittany Basura Baker. Do you know what Basura is?
Trash.
It's trash. That's correct. Very good. She is hilarious. She's so great. Big Swole. This is like the perfect rivalry right here. So she's like, fine, I drove 3.5 hours to get here. Screw you guys. So she leaves, or so we think. After that, we had Nyla Rose versus two jobbers. What were their names?
Kenzie Page and Kylan King.
Yes. Nyla completely annihilated both of them. She ended up powerbombing one on the other and pinned both of them at the same time. that was finished. But then she had a promo. Where she talks about she's going to have a manager. She says all these people backstage with all these managers, and they're all sort of thematically linked. And
champions.
And so
she mentions two examples.
And so, she is going to have a manager that suits her, that's going to take her to that level so she can once again be AEW Women's Champion. So
she said, I'm not going to tell you who it is yet, but she more or less said it's going to be something else.
Who's it going to be? Wouldn't that be great if it was Awesome Kong?
I thought that.
Like if Kong didn't want to wrestle, that's a killer team right there.
Yeah.
What if it was like Medusa?
Yeah, those are the two names I thought were Awesome Kong and Medusa.
Be pretty cool. Oh, that'd be interesting if it was Vicky Guerrero. That's a really good idea. Who said that? Asian Mer said that. That's actually really good.
That is a good idea. We've seen Vicky a couple times in AEW. That'd be awesome.
She's
course, great.
Yeah, the wife of a great champion, Eddie Guerrero. Yeah, that could be good.
She was Edge's manager of sorts after his.
You
run
could
with
say
Lita's
that
champ.
too. Yeah. She was, and his lover as well.
Mm-hmm.
And they have like a wedding or something.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. So then we get this bit where we're in the trainer's room. Colt Cabana's got like, this was makeup, right?
That was a massive. It looked
pretty
good.
It looked really good. It was like, this looked real.
Yeah, it was a huge bruise that went from basically right under his armpit down to his hip. And it was from, I don't recall an attack last week where Colt Cabana was laid out. So maybe something that happened on Dark.
I think everything just happens on Dark.
But the trainer said, hey, this is you got this injury from your rib cage, and use very medical jargon to describe where and what it is from being attacked, being thrown into a road case or barricade or something. But despite all this, you're cleared to wrestle.
So according to chat, Brian Alvarez said that thing's real. What the hell? Where from a ring post? How many what was this, like a giant ring? What ring post made this thing was huge?
Did someone rip the ring post out of the ground and hit him with it?
Several times?
That's what it looked like.
Jeez.
So anyways, the trainer says, hey, this is nasty, ugly. It probably hurts like all get out, but you're cleared to wrestle. Brody Lee enters and says, hey, we're not sure how the injury happened or who caused it, but we assure you that us, the Dark Order, won't let it happen again. And hey, we got a match out there. I expect you to be out there for it. And Colt says, all right, got it, Mr. Brody.
Yeah, so this is a very much the Vince thing,
Mm-hmm.
You got to go wrestle, no matter how messed up you are, which is, obviously most famously in the interview that Colt granted his former friend CM Punk.
Yes.
So yeah, that match happens next. Dark Order versus SCU, and they really did get the perfect guy for this Dark Order story, because Colt, when he goes out there, he really is perfect as like the everyman thrust into this situation. His mannerisms are so like overwhelmed, but also going along with it. And of course, as soon as Scorpio Sky, he's in there with Sky, and Sky locks his arms around him. We all feel it because we just saw this giant bruise. I mean, that's really weird that they would have, like, this is the perfect story with this bruise that they told last night, but it couldn't have happened without this giant bruise on him, which apparently is real. It's kind of crazy how that stuff happens.
It is crazy. I know.
He locks his arms around him, and he just starts
waist lock. Yeah.
He just starts screaming in pain.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's like, dude, Colt Cabana really should be in like comedy movies.
Oh, I know. He's so good.
He's so good, and he's got like sort of I don't know. He's got the thing, man. He's got the thing.
He does. He does have it. So that was kind of one story going throughout the match. So that instance where Scorpio Sky gets him a waist lock and kind of pushes them towards the rope, and Colt's like, get off. And then Brody from the corner is yelling at Colt, get it together. Yeah. He immediately like, nah, screw this. And he goes and he tries to tag somebody, and Brody's like, no, get back out there. Yeah. It was pretty great.
Yeah.
So the finish saw Christopher Daniels. He's in. He hits Stu Grayson with the Uranagi, follows the moonsault. Colt's in there to pull Daniels off the cover. One thing that also happened before the match is, before the bell rang, Colt goes over to SCU's corner and tries to talk to him, and Brody's like, get over there. Get in our corner. And so after pulling Daniels off the cover, Daniels like, what are you doing? And Colt's trying to explain himself, so Daniels just clocks him. Brody comes in, takes out Daniels with discus lariat, and then Stu Grayson's about to make the cover. Brody's like, no.
Yeah.
Let Colt do it.
Yeah.
And so Stu goes, tags in Colt. Colt covers Daniel, gets the pinfall win. And he's happy.
Yeah. You got to win. He's with people who are taking him to the top now.
Yeah.
After that, Shivani, they were pushing JR's book, and Shivani got a note from Britt Baker that said, every time you plug your book, you should plug my merch as well. It's only fair. All of a sudden, Big Swole shows up. She's got a mask on, So she was able to sneak through. She's got the suspension papers. She throws them at Rebel. Rebel, goes like that, whacks Britt in the nose, and Britt just starts overselling it. And it looked like, I swear to God, it looked like she was laughing while she was doing it because she had her hand over her mouth and she was like, ah!
Yeah.
And I swear to God, she had a giant smile on her face. I could have just been seeing things, but it was a pretty entertaining thing.
It was pretty fun.
And then it was announced, Tony Khan announced on Twitter, or he was sort of clarifying on Twitter the whole suspension thing. He had a back and forth with Swole where she was calling him out for some BS, but yeah, he's getting in the game too. It's only a matter of time, Larson, before he's
on camera.
Yeah, exactly.
So next week for Fight for the Fallen on the show, they announced that Cody will be defending the TNT title, and later on Twitter, it's going to be Cody versus Sonny Kiss for the TNT Championship. We get Lucha Brothers versus FTR. That's going to be off the charts, man. The Elite, Young Bucks, and Kenny taking on Jurassic Express. That'll be a fun match too. And the main event for the AEW Championship, not the FTW one, Mox versus Brian Cage.
Hate to put you on the spot. Would you like to do this live? Would you want to watch
I figured we did 2 weeks of NXT. We can do 1 week of AEW.
Fyter Fest is a big deal. I'm sorry, Fight for the Fallen is a big deal. You want to do it here on Twitch?
Sure.
Go for a sub party. Let's do a sub party.
Sure.
Whatever that means.
Twitch sub party.
There you go. That was funny. All right. Anyways, that led to our main event. Orange Cassidy versus Chris Jericho. Orange Cassidy comes out. He's all business. He's like, "Hey, best friends, you need to scram. Get out of here." Takes off
this myself. Yeah.
Takes off his shirt. Takes off his glasses. His sunglasses. He's ready to throw down. Y2J comes out. He's got X-Lax with him. They have some of their own orange juice. That comes into play later. It's not just to get their vitamin D.
C.
D is the sun.
D from the sun.
That's where you get that from the sun.
Or whole milk. It's fortified with vitamin D.
Yeah, it is, man. I love
What?
I love me some whole milk, Larson.
Oh, all right. So Orange gets off to a pretty quick start, but then for the vast majority of this match, the middle part of it, Jericho is just beating the hell out of Orange Cassidy.
Mm-hmm.
Just beating the ever-living crap out of him.
Yeah, I have here Y2J spends first 10 minutes picking OC apart.
Yeah, and they got X-Lax down there, and they got the sock, and they're hitting Cassidy with that too.
Yeah.
And it's a bit of a brawling type thing, and it wasn't that interesting at first.
Mm-hmm.
But then once Cassidy started to make his comeback, because we both picked Jericho to win this match and felt pretty good about it. But there's always the thought in your head, maybe they'll give Orange a pretty high profile win here.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't outside the realm of possibility.
That was never in my head.
So with every near fall, it's like, I don't think it's going to happen, but it could.
No, this was the perfectly booked match. It really was.
Yeah.
There was a bit at the, there was some stuff at the end where it was like, yeah, maybe.
Yeah, if they take a match like this where Orange is a massive underdog, and by the end of it, they put even the smallest little thought in your head that Orange could win this match, then they did their job right.
Yeah. Yeah. Or at least I actually was kind of surprised that the finish wasn't the bit. So basically, the breaking point seems to be when Y2J sent Orange Cassidy, this is my notes, into the barricade. After that, Orange Cassidy kind of recovers and he goes on a spree against Jericho, really unloads on him, gives him some of those lazy super kicks, and then he finishes it with a real one. And so the intensity really turns up. Orange Cassidy goes up top. Y2J gets up there trying to give him a superplex. Orange Cassidy throws him off, gets a splash, gets only a 2 on that. So Jericho had come out with his bat, with his Ulysses Killer, with Floyd, the Ulysses Killer. At one point, let's see here, Orange Cassidy goes for a Superman punch attempt. Y2J gets him in the walls of Jericho. But Orange Cassidy rolls through, gets a roll up 2, hits a really big punch on Jericho. Yeah. And then as Jericho gets the advantage and Orange Cassidy gets up against the rope, Santana throws a bunch of orange juice in his face. So the ref gets distracted with all that because Best Friends comes out. And that allows Jericho to hit Orange Cassidy with the bat, hits a code breaker. I thought that'd be it because that's a pretty protected loss there for Orange Cassidy if he gets hit with a bat, but he kicked out.
Yeah. And then Jericho goes for a line salt, misses that. Orange hits a Michinoku driver that earns him a 2 count. And then Jericho goes for a suplex. Orange reverses into stun dog. hits the tornado DT after that, 2 count. Orange, one thing that he couldn't successfully connect on throughout this match with the Superman punch. Tried several times, could never connect. This time he tries for it. He runs right into a Judas effect. Jericho covers him, gets the win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But no, it's a really terrific match, and I'm glad that we've seen Orange Cassidy showcase what his like actual wrestling, like if he's in a big match wrestling thing. I still think that he's sort of in a situation where at some point they need to start making him a bit more relatable if they want bigger things for him. Like, because he's still kind of a weirdo, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, he has no problem talking, but he really doesn't that often. So I don't know, and I'm kind of curious to see what they're going to do with him in the future, because they do seem to like want to move things along and not allow things to get too stale.
Yeah, definitely.
So it'd be kind of interesting to see where they go from here.
Yeah. Anyways, we want to do some questions.
Yeah, Fidelio. Here we go. I am on the Patreon. You can get your question here on the Patreon, $1 a month, patreon.com/Steve and Larson. Hunter Vandement asks, what lower mid-card WWE star do you think would best succeed? Oh, we had this question yesterday. Would best succeed in AEW? I think, now that I think about it, Joey Janela. I think if you put Joey Janela in NXT, he wouldn't be unlike Cameron Grimes. I know he's smaller than Cameron Grimes. Cameron Grimes is surprisingly like tall. He's like 6 feet tall, I think.
Yeah, and he's pretty thick.
Yeah. Joey Janela's not. He's like a lot smaller.
He's
but
like
I think, if you guys, if they're pushing guys like, the entire Legado del Fantasma, Joey Janela would fit in with those guys, in terms of size as an opponent. I think Joey Janela would do great wherever he is. He's a very creative guy.
He is. He's super creative. Ed Fries, they might use the FTW title to get Cage a rematch when he loses to Mox. Yeah, I don't know what long term, I don't know what the end game is for the FTW belt. Is this just kind of get some extra legitimacy on Cage's side prior to this fight for the Fallen match? I don't know.
I think, dude, I don't know, man. I mean, I think it's funny, like, there was such a big, like, deal made about the TNT title. Oh, it's Cody doesn't consider it a mid-card. What's it going to look like? There's this, there's that. Oh, they finally have a mid-card title. And then, like, just in one episode, they're just like, hey, look, it's FTW title. I think that's really cool. I think it's, like, it's super motivated because of Taz. So, like, I think the way we talked about it, like having it be like somebody said here, the BMF title in the UFC, that's a great idea. That's a great. It's one more thing. It's like what's his face's MJF's cheesy ring.
Yeah.
It's like that. Obviously, you don't fight for that, but it's just another thing to add to the stories that you could fight over, that you can use. I love that. You add little plot devices that can carry stories, and that's totally what you should be doing.
Totally. Gareth Nicholas, Joey Janela is much more than the hardcore wrestler he was known for. Incredible storyteller. Does he have TNT title potential? Yeah, I think given time to develop himself as a character, as a brand, I think he definitely does somewhere down the line.
I agree. Yes, I think yes. Let's see here. James Fletcher. I think the end to all Archer matches should never be pins. He should just completely destroy his opponent to the point they can't continue. That's a really cool idea.
Yeah. I thought that's how the Cody match should have ended.
Yeah.
With him winning, of course. Dark Tank Lucha on the next Dynamite. Darby Allin hangs out with Rob. Is it Deerdeck, the guy from Ridiculousness? At the Fantasy Factory. The host of Ridiculousness.
What about him? Sorry?
He's a he used to be a pro skater.
Oh, yeah. Put Darby Allin on Ridiculousness.
Yeah. At least with the dude who hosts it. Also from Dark Tank Lucha, we need Darby Allin as a special DLC in these X Games based video games. It'd be a great crossover for AEW. Yeah, he should be the next Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
I agree, totally. Let's see here. Thomas Dunnigan. We sort of talked about this, Thomas. He asked about the FTW Championship. We sort of already mentioned that stuff. Brian Luckman. Do all AEW tag teams have the ability to win tag? I wonder what Brian's doing on his summer break, man. Not summer break now. His post-graduation summer. There's nothing else unless he starts doing college stuff, but that's up to him. Whole life ahead of him. Yeah. Anyways, his question is, do all AEW tag teams have the ability to win tag gold, or is there a team that you think will never win gold? He says he doesn't see Butcher and Blade ever winning tag gold. The way they're booked now, I kind of agree with that, but they seem to be catching on to what they should be. But I can see that. I mean, there's a lot of other heel teams ahead of them that I think are more important.
I think a situation where any team on that roster is talented enough to be champions.
Yeah,
I don't think there's an obvious team in terms of from a talent perspective. You're like, I don't buy them as champions.
Yeah,
it's just a creative decision whether they want to go in that direction or not.
All the teams featured on Dynamite, anyways, because there might be some jobber tag teams that I don't know of on Dark. All the teams featured on Dynamite are distinct. They're unique. They have their own personality. And whenever you have that, you can be a champion. Like, people will buy. You will have a set fan base that will totally buy into them being champions. And I can't think of a team. Now, I kind of don't think that Best Friends, now they've had their shot, I don't think they're going to get another shot anytime soon. Butcher and Blade, they do seem to be lower down the totem pole with heel tag teams. I probably don't see them getting the titles anytime soon. I do think that all that stuff can change, very quickly.
I think with time, yeah. I mean, the tag division's so loaded now.
It's really loaded.
Like right now, the tag champions aren't like a full-time tag team. They're a put-together tag team.
Yeah, that is kind of like, I really like the Page Omega story, but I do kind of feel like they're using the tag titles, which there's a lot. It's such a loaded division, and you have a thrown together tag team as your champions.
Yeah, but it's a good story, so I don't mind it.
Yeah,
and then being tag champions actually enhances the story.
Yeah.
That's the only reason they're really together at this point.
Yeah, but you have to ask, like, it's enhancing their story. It's not enhancing the tag team division story, like the various tag teams that are out there.
No, it's not. But then you have a wealth of other teams. Like right now, the amount of attention that has been given and is going to continue to receive the FTR Young Bucks story. Like that feud doesn't need the titles right now. Right now, it's just for bragging rights.
Yeah.
Down the line,
yeah,
revisiting that feud with titles involved, that's going to enhance that feud.
You're saying that the story being told with the tag titles is more important than what another team just having them. Yeah.
I'm saying there's enough good stories in the tag division that don't require the tag titles. I don't think it's they're doing the tag titles a disservice having them on Kenny and Page to essentially tell a story of two singles wrestlers.
It's a good point.
Jimmy Thomas asks, is Cody going to hold the TNT title till it's finished? Maybe.
Oh, yeah. Will Cody ever have the actual finished
Don't know.
TNT
Like I said, I feel like they should keep it like that. Whoever wins it just gets to add their own little detail to the belt.
I agree. Yeah. What would Darby Allin add to it if he won it?
Like a group picture of him, Travis Pastrana,
okay,
Tony Hawk,
yeah,
all his X Game friends.
That's good. I was gonna say Wheels. What if he rode down on the title?
What if he turned the belt into a skateboard?
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. Let's see here. Toby Whittle, would you like to see trios titles in AEW? Yes, I would.
Yeah. Jonathan, so AEW starts. Announcers say Tony Khan has requested all talent come to the ring. Everyone is there. Tony appears on the Jumbotron in another location in Jacksonville. He tells everyone first to get to this ring. Oh, the first to get to this ring gets this contract for championship match. Boom. Wacky races ensues.
I could see them doing that, and I think it'd be wildly fun for one episode of Dynamite.
Yeah.
I could see
I think
that.
so,
That'd
too.
be great. That'd be awesome. James Fletcher, what do you think the story of Colt and the Dark Order will be? Is Colt using the Dark Order, or is he going to join them? I think that in the end, I don't know how they're going to get there. In the end, it needs to be Colt getting a singles win over Brody Lee and breaking away from the Dark Order. That's how this story should end. And yeah, until then, obviously, you go through like a regular 3-act thing where it gets pretty dire for old Colt.
Patrick Oliva has the ratings numbers. AEW 715, NXT 759.
Yeah, I saw, but AEW still won big in the demo.
Oh, the all important. That's the only number that really matters. If Chris Jericho says that's the case, no, never mind.
Who are we to? Who are we to?
Well, I can argue.
Who are we to argue with?
I can argue with some points he's made.
The demo, no. The Reptilian Elite, perhaps. What was it 7-15 to 7:59?
59, yeah, I think so. So about a 44,000 viewer advantage for NXT.
Interesting.
Asian Murr, is the word dies censored or something? Archer never finishes his phrase and just says everybody instead of the whole thing.
Maybe.
It could be.
That's a sensitive thing right now. The fact that lots of people are dying.
Yeah.
Wow.
White Brand 92, I want Cage to win, but Mox is the bigger name. How do you keep the belt on Mox, but also protect Brian Cage? What they could do, and I don't know if they do it, they usually don't do kind of wonk finishes for main event title matches. If you really want to set up Cage as a machine, as a monster, have him like drill claw Mox through the stage or something like that to end the show.
Yeah.
So you don't get a clean finish, but you get a moment. It's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe they just did that.
Yeah, I wonder. Like, you need to book this win for Mox as him escaping Cage. Not beating Cage necessarily. If he can escape with a win, and yeah, like you said, have him just completely annihilate Mox afterwards. Mm-hmm. I mean, they're not going to want to make Mox look too weak, but you also have to make Cage look really strong.
Yes, you can have the situation where Cage is physically dominant. Mox just uses strategy essentially to eke out a win.
Yeah, right.
Adrian C, did you notice Orange Cassidy had his own music for the first time last night? That plus his performance versus Jericho makes it seem like they're going to try and take him more seriously down the road. His music was pretty generic. And not really fitting to his character whatsoever.
I did not notice it. Okay, so like it should be like his Tron is just like his name written out real quick.
What his theme should be is like someone tuning up a guitar, acoustic, and just strumming random chords. That's what it should be.
Yeah, I was going to say it needs to be something that's completely and totally unfinished, done on the fly.
Yes.
Like a guy just humming really quick.
It should be like sort of like Blue Pants.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Die Hard Homer, are title shots being given to Cage and Brody Lee too soon? I get they're big deals, but having them lose a high-profile match so soon seems goofy. I don't mind it per se. I just don't want to be the formula they use for someone that they really want. They want to do something meaningful with. Because obviously they like Brian Cage a lot.
Yeah,
it's obvious that they wanted Brody Lee, and I kind of wonder too if the Brody Lee match was a bit rushed given circumstances around pandemic and stuff. Maybe some people that were supposed to be, maybe that was packed that was supposed to get that title shot instead of Brody Lee. I kind of feel like that's an outlier. Maybe this is a situation where like, oh well, we don't have a challenger for Mox, because that was all set up really quick.
Mm-hmm. I do feel like there is a bit of a pattern with Brody and Cage getting their Mox shots like immediately, and Archer debuting and getting his Cody shot basically immediately.
It can't be so formulaic.
Right. Yeah. Let's see here. Gregory Faella. What's the better looking title, the FTW title or the new US title? I always really liked the FTW title because it was very Taz centric, and I always liked the human suplex machine.
It looks very homemade too.
In a vacuum, without the context, the US title looks better because it actually looks like a real championship title that somebody would go after. The FTW title has Taz's name at the top, and it's like, what is this, like a Looney Tunes thing? What's going on here?
Yeah, it's got one Z.
Yeah.
Not two Z's. Hugh Long Heavy says, please put a 10 in front of the FTW belt in the thumbnail.
Just put like the old logo there with the,
sure.
Put this right there.
There you go. Weathered Souls, just want to say thank you to you guys at Friendos for always having my back and supporting me.
Hey man, no sweat.
You got
If you get that Friendo Club tattoo, you gotta let us know.
Yep.
Steve Klein, do you think Sheeta should also get a manager as well? No, I don't think Sheeta needs a manager.
I mean, I don't think Nyla Rose needs a manager either, but I guess if the idea is if she thinks that's the formula to success, then so be it.
Yeah, but you know what? Here's the thing. I agree. I don't think she needs one. I just like that things keep moving. You know, that's what I really like. It's like, well, you know, what is she going to do now? They could have her squash jobbers for another 3 months. But no, there's like, hey, I've got something to announce. I'm doing something different. I love that there's all these moving pieces constantly.
Definitely.
That's what I like. Let's see here. Double J, Joe Jensen, ain't he great? I think tonight should have been the night for Private Party to go over and Kenny to turn on Hangman. How long do you see Kenny and Hangman as champions? I think something big's got to happen at All Out.
Yeah, it's going to be All Out. So we could probably get Young Bucks versus FTR one-on-one. Maybe we'll get Lucha Brothers versus Kenny and Hangman and have them win the titles.
Yeah.
And have that be the beginning of the end for them.
21 Shako says, so he gave us a sub. Thank you. He says, where do I hit you guys up for the extra Friendo TV content? So today we'll have Pin, Lose, or Draw. A little bit later, probably about an hour and a half. We will send you the link to that. So make sure your Twitch email notifications are turned on. Make sure your Twitch notifications don't go to your spam.
Yes.
And then whenever we have bonus content, you will get it that way. And then what I've been trying to do, although I have not been too successful at this so far, but I'm going to try to put into my routine, is at the end of the week, send you all the previous bonus content. So as long as you're an active sub, you will always have access to those links going forward. It's just if you're on the Patreon or I believe YouTube channel members, you can get the backlog of stuff because you can look back. Yeah. There's just no way to do that on Twitch.
Yeah. Stevie Bradley offers up the same question here about how new subs can get the FCTV content.
Yes.
Brian Lopez, should they have Paige versus Omega rivalry or just break up them moving on with other things? No, there's got to be a feud coming out of their breakup as a tag team that Paige eventually goes over.
It's got to be a big deal. Yeah, it's got to be a big deal for sure. Yeah, I do think that like pandemic is one thing that has really kind of. I wonder if those plans changed with Omega and Paige.
Could be waiting to have fans,
waiting to see, like, or at least waiting to see. Okay, do fans seem like they're going to be back soon? Are they going to be on the horizon? Now it seems like it's not going to be soon. If they're going to,
although if WWE gets their way, it will be relatively soon.
Wait, is there new stuff on that or?
Yeah, WrestleVotes had a thing about it this morning.
Well, just give me the cliff notes real quick.
End of September.
Is that just an arbitrary thing, or they have like, yeah?
I mean, I don't think they've had any science behind any of the decisions they've been making until it's been forced upon them.
So they're just looking at that day at around end of September for fans.
Seemingly. Yeah. Like, maybe the 2.5 months things will just quiet down a little bit. Who knows? That's probably their attitude.
Oh yeah, here we go. Yeah, where are you getting this info? Like, what is this? What metrics are you using to determine that miraculously in 2.5 months everything's going to be fine? Things are going worse now. Why do you think they're going to get better?
They're not getting better. They're going to get worse.
They're just going to get worse, man.
Have a second shutdown because the first one didn't last long.
Yeah. Let's see here. Johann von Wolfenhausen says, since I just butchered that name, Johann von Wolfhausen, since everyone is getting a manager, who should be X-Laxes? He says MVP, but I'm not sure if Johann understands that these are completely different companies. Who should be X-Laxes? Well, they don't need a manager. They've got the Inner Circle.
No, they're in a circle. They don't need
Jericho's their manager, basically.
Yeah. Jonathan says, I make bad decisions when I start running out of money, too.
That's a good point.
They're not running out of money, though. They're not. They had the most profitable quarter. They're not running out of money.
Wasn't the evidence, wasn't like the thing that, Conan for their, yeah, that's a good one, for their manager. Like, technically, fans were like, they were not doing good money for them, right? Because, like, they were doing, house shows were losing money. Just keep it at the Performance Center. It's the new normal. 1 million viewers a week for WWE is the new normal, people.
It's a throwback to the old studio wrestling days.
Yeah, get a bunch of do like doctor up your place, your set like it's and like the NWA does theirs now.
Mm-hmm.
And then get like a bunch of cardboard cutouts of people, of fans. Send in your face, and then they'll put you, as a cardboard cutout. and then just pipe some fake crowd noise in.
No, I'm telling you, they got those huge LED boards. Just put those behind the barricades and just have, like B-roll of fans.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Yeah. There you go.
Then pipe in the noise.
There you go. That works. Man, I'm really on the line about Sunday night doing Dominion as like a watch party here on Twitch, just to watch Steve try not to sleep. Watch party.
Oh, yeah, I wish I could, but I'm not trying to pressure my sleep schedule is jacked.
Would you be okay if I did that solo?
You can do whatever you want, man.
Okay, all right. Well, hey, we're a team. I just want to make sure that you're cool.
Definitely.
With that.
If I was getting more than 6 hours of sleep tonight, or a night, I would consider it. But
man, I've been sleeping crazy good lately. Slept till 9 this morning.
Don't want to hear it. I mean, I'm happy for you, but I don't need to hear that.
I've been keeping late hours though. I've been up till like 1 o'clock. I'm getting solid 8.
It's good.
Yeah, man. Deep sleep.
All right, now you're just kind of rubbing it in. I appreciate that, man.
I got to keep you going, man. I'm going to be gone for a couple days. I got to get this in while I can.
Yeah, I don't know if you really have to.
Anyways, thanks everybody for tuning in. I appreciate it. We'll be back later on with Pin Loser Draw for Friendo Club TV Friendos. And then also we'll probably have a news brief today as well. Yeah, with this stuff, we'll have a news brief.
Yeah, we got to talk about the WrestleVote stuff, yeah.
Uh-huh. And so, yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. Man, end of September. We're back. We're back into September. Oh, huge news. WWE's figured out the cure to coronavirus, people. Thanks for watching. Until next time, we'll talk to you later. Oh, Goodbye. Twitch guys, stick around. We'll do a raid. We'll see who's on.